If you're the admin on a Google Analytics account, then you've gotten this email. Actually, you've probably gotten a bunch of emails about GA4 over the past year or more, but a lot of them you might have been tempted to ignore. Well, this one, unfortunately, you can't ignore, because if you do, Google is going to make some decisions for you. Today, I'm going to run through a few common scenarios to help you make the decision of whether you should opt out of Google migrating for you, or if you should let them move forward. If you log into Google Analytics just on occasion to check some top level metrics, maybe sessions, page views, things like that, you're not really doing much else with it, you can go ahead and let Google migrate everything for you. You don't really need to worry about it right now, especially if you're not overly technical. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't be paying attention to your analytics, though. So instead of worrying about making the migration to GA4, let them handle the basic setup and focus instead on putting together a longer term measurement plan and strategy. If you spend a little bit more time in Google Analytics or just find yourself regularly checking metrics, or perhaps some custom events and goals, then I would probably recommend opting out. What I mean by that is you would likely be better served by setting up a fresh GA4 property yourself and making sure it's set up foundationally correct so that you can grow in the future. If you're not entirely sure what to do, or maybe you're not as technical, maybe let them migrate for you, but you'll probably have to do some more cleanup later. If you would consider yourself a more advanced user, where you're constantly spending time monitoring metrics, you have custom events, dimensions, more, probably use Google Tag Manager, and you have some level of technical ability, either yourself or on your team, absolutely opt out of the automatic migration. You're going to have such a headache with a bunch of unnecessary things if they move things over for you. We'll go into depth in another piece of content here, but definitely opt out, set up your own GA4 property, and very carefully plan your event tracking. Also use it as a chance to get rid of extra clutter that you have in your analytics account, all that extra noise that gets in the way of your day-to-day. Now you're probably wondering, how do I actually opt out? Or you might have deleted that email from Google that had a handy link in it as soon as it hit your inbox. I don't blame you. I'll walk you through it right now. If you're watching this video before March of 2023, you still have the opportunity to proactively opt out. If you're watching this during March or afterwards, you might have already had a new property created for you. If that's the case, they do still give you a couple different options for how you can handle opting out of migration. I will go ahead and walk you through both. If you decide to opt out, keep in mind that this means you'll need to create your own GA4 property, and none of your existing settings will be copied over. In many cases, I think that's actually a good thing, because it's a chance to start fresh, but I want to make sure I make that disclaimer. So, to opt out, first, log into your Google Analytics account and go to admin. Make sure you're in the correct account and Universal Analytics property. Then, in the property column, click GA4 Setup Assistant. At the very bottom of the page, turn off the automatically set up a basic Google Analytics 4 property toggle. At this point, you'll have opted out. That's it. Now, if you're watching this during March or after in 2023 and you didn't opt out in time, you still have the chance to change your settings. Click Admin, select your Universal Analytics property, and then in the property column, click GA4 Setup Assistant. Then, next to Connected Property, click Disconnect. Then go to your GA4 property and delete it. Now, if you've already created a Google Analytics 4 property and you want to copy over some, but not all of your Universal Analytics configurations to GA4, you can do that too. Click Admin, select your GA4 property, and then in the property column, click Setup Assistant. Make sure to mark the configurations that you don't want copied over as complete. And then you can click the arrow at the far right to select Mark as Complete. Repeat this step for every configuration that you don't want copied over. If you get stuck or come up with any detailed questions as you're going through the process, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to address questions as they come up, and I've really found that one of the best ways to handle this migration is to learn from others in real time as they're doing it. So hopefully your question can help somebody else out as well. Thanks.